Hey guys, it's CurseWrangler here, and I'm going to be teaching you how to make a commentary Let's Play on a Mac. Now, the reason I'm doing it on a Mac and not a PC is because on PC it's way easier. With programs like Fraps, it'll use you can make your audio directly right there. HD PVR, also comes with a program on a disk that actually works for a PC and not a Mac. So on a Mac, it's significantly more difficult, and I'm going to be teaching you how to do it. So let's see. As far as let's break this down into categories. As far as recording your gameplay, you're going to want to do one or two things. You're going to want to use ScreenFlow if you're doing this, recording like from your computer screen. So let's say I'm playing like a game, like an actual game, or like what is it? A ROM file. You would want to use ScreenFlow. I've got this so long ago, I don't even know. I think it costs money. I can't remember how much, but ScreenFlow might actually cost money. You can do a free trial. You could torrent it. You could or you could buy it. It's I forget how much it'll set you back, but you could either do that or use HD PVR capture if you're using an HD PVR, which is what a lot of people use for like console recordings. The other problem, and this is a problem with pretty much just Mac in general, is because all the programs that it seems to have for it, because they have to switch the operating systems, aren't free. Most of them you have to pay for, and I looked all over the web for one that was suitable for me for an HD PVR, and none of them were free. So HD PVR capture, again, you could torrent it, you could buy it, it'll set you back $29.95, which is fine. That's $30, but that's $30 that you might not want to spend. So anyways, once you get HD PVR, I'm just going to use that because I'm actually using ScreenFlow right now. Bam, let's open this. Once you would plug in your HD PVR, it would show up. I can't actually, it's right, the video section signal right now is, hardware not present because it's not plugged in. But once you have it plugged in, you would hit record. You can see I have it for infinite amount of times. That's a duration. You would press record, and you're all dandy. The problem with that is that it doesn't capture your commentary. So let's say I plug in my HD PVR to my computer, and I start playing my game, and I'm recording it, right? But I also want to record commentary. I want to do it live. That's what I do. What you would do, because there's one built into your Mac or my MacBook Pro right now, I would want to use that. So now that we've got this video setting thing, let's move on to the audio. Recording audio, I like to see it as really easy kind of thing to do. You could use several things. You could use WavePad right here, which is free. You could use Audacity. But what I like to use is GarageBand because it's it's free, it's built right into the computer, it's installed right here. So I just use this. So I open up a new program or a new project, and it's got the grand piano thing. That's the one I start off with because honestly, if you start off a new project and you do voice instead of piano, it'll come off really weird because it has effects. Because the singing effects it has like an echo, which I don't really like, especially in commentary. That's bad. You don't want that. So what you do, hit Shift Command N, get a new track in there, Command Delete to get the piano out there. If you want. It doesn't really matter. It's not, no audio is coming from it. I usually turn off the metronome because if you're doing live commentary and it's coming out of your speakers, I'll just show you an example. When the metronome's on, it makes ticking, and that's bad, because then it'll be in the background and you'll have this constant like ticking in the background. So anyways, you just kind of saw an example of it already, but you'd record and then you'd save it up here as whatever you want. Let's see, let's save as. Don't change this. Okay, you want it to be in the GarageBand file, and that'll kind of help later on. Once you exit, okay, I really don't want to save it, but once you exit, it'll give you an option. It'll say, would you like to save it as an iLife file? You also want to click yes to that because it'll help you later on with editing and stuff. Speaking of editing, wait, hold on. Another thing that you could use is Skype. Now, remember when I told you that not all the things are free? So, let's just open this up. For Skype, they have another thing, which I use, called Call Recorder. So say that you're playing a game or you've already got something recorded and you want to do a co-op Let's Play with your friends. So if you want to record a Skype call on a Mac, you would use Call Recorder, which is what I use. It works really well. I haven't had any problems with it. It gave its own file right here on my desktop called Save Calls. And you would use that. The problem is that's not free either. You would have to either torrent it or buy it. I ended up buying mine. But another thing that people use, especially on Windows, is Pamela Call Recorder, which I used to use when I had an old Windows like desktop. And it's fine. It's good. It's pretty much, it's the same quality as Call Recorder, but I have not seen it on Mac. And as of right now, that might change in the future, but as of right now, it's not on Mac. So you're gonna have to pay for that if you also want to record audio, which is why I like to use GarageBand. So now that we've got that all out of the way, let's move on to editing. So editing, what I like to use is Final Cut Pro. You can also use iMovie. I just have Final Cut Pro on here. iMovie's free, it comes on there. But basically, the same stuff applies to what I'm using on, what I'm doing in Final Cut Pro is it's basically the same exact thing in iMovie. So I mean, this kind of tutorial for Final Cut Pro X will also work for iMovie. So let's get this crap out of the way. Oh, look at that. I've actually got a file kind of already done. I'm going to do it again. Let's see. Boop. So yeah, what I've got here is the raw file, which is what I like to call it. When you record with your HD PVR capture, it'll come out as this really weird file. It'll come out as like an MTPS file, I think. So you're like, I don't think it can be viewed by any like sort of program other than, like very, very specific ones. So you might be like, okay, well, that doesn't help me at all. So what you would use is you would download Handbrake, which, praise the Lord, is free. So you would take that, and right here, you'd come up here to the source, you'd take say this is the MTP4S or MTPS file, you click on that, you click open, and you click start. And the good part about Handbrake is that it keeps your it keeps your HD file, and it doesn't lose any of the quality, but it cuts the video file down like significantly. Like this raw file, let's look at it. Look at this. This is a 1.39 gigabyte. The original raw file, I'm pretty sure it was either 1.39 or it might have been more, but it didn't lose any of the quality, so that's good. So let's go down here. Where'd it go? Final Cut Pro. So yeah, once that is done, once your Handbrake is done for the MTP4S file, it'll be an MP4, which you can put into this. You'd go up here, import files, find it, and then you'd import it. So cool, now that you've got that, and you've got your GarageBand audio, you need to edit it, because they're not synced up. Because, you had to click record, and then you had to click down, and then you had to click record audio, or whichever, but there's no way that you could get them both to record at the exact same time. And this is where you have editing cues put in. You know, you'd count down. You'd be like, okay, we're starting a part in 3, 2, 1, and then you'd start a new Let's Play part. I like to have a timer with me. That works. Also, another thing that you could have is like have the TV playing in the background. You know, like loud but not too loud. You know, just loud enough, like to where the computer will pick up on it in the background, but you know, not too much. Like it has to be like subtle so you can hear it, but not too subtle. So what I like to do is I like to take the gameplay audio down to 19 decibels, or negative 19, sorry, because you also don't want your game audio to be louder than your commentary. That just doesn't make sense, you know. It would just sound bad to have the game audio more than your audio. So now that we've got the raw file, and I added in a nice little effect, add a little crossover, which is basically a fade in, which is right here, transitions. You'd go to your music, and iMovie has this too, so I mean you don't have to worry about that. But you know, you'd find your file, which is right here, Far Cry Part 24, boom, add that in, and there. And you can see right here, if you look, hold on, let me zoom in. See these little red peaks? I also like to take it down to maybe negative 4 decibels so that those peaks don't happen, because it's also a pain in the ass to hear that if you know you're listening to a gameplay commentary and you don't want to hear the speakers go out every once in a while. So now you see, you know, you've got these two things and they're great, but they're not synced up yet. So I'll go look around in the audio. I'll look for a part where neither of us were talking. Let me go back and cut this so I can actually hear. I mean, not hear, but edit it later. So, yeah, I'll look for when one of us wasn't talking, or both of us weren't talking, and the gameplay audio was, you know, high enough, so I can sync it up. And that usually happens around a cutscene of some sort. But you know, I'll try to find it. Let's see. I'm trying to find a good one, actually. See? What's this? Ah, yeah, this will work. I'm pretty sure. This might get a little choppy, but just so you guys can hear.
Uncomfortable outside, sorry.
Why are you telling me this?
Here you go.
Huh. Well, that wasn't good. Let's look for another one.
Come on!
There you go.
On my project.
Wow.
It wasn't on my project.
Oh, Jesus.
Now you can hear it in the background as you can kind of listen closely.
Was it on my project?
So that guy said, "Buy my pride," is what he said? Can't remember. What did he say?
Get the fuck up! Come on!
Let's look for another one. That one's a little too tricky. You got to find the sort of right balance, I suppose, in both of the audios to where you can actually hear it. So, let's try right here, because you know I can, you know, I noticed this not even by the video even being here, but by the audio right here, because you know you can see that this is low, this is very low. That shows me that this is background noise, and this is always constant. So I mean, I brought it down that low. But let's look around here. I know that the video is ahead of the audio already, so let me just drag it a little bit, and let's zoom in and see what's going on. Usually you can tell by the sort of peaks and waves of the audio just what you're dealing with. But let's try to edit it even further.
No, Jason, that's not alright!
So if you hear it in this, he actually says "not alright" before he says it in the video, which means that I dragged this way too far back. So let's right there should be good. Now you might be like, well, why there? Okay, so this kind of takes, you know, practice in editing, but you see these 3 files right here? This is better than what I was using. These 3 files. So boom, boom, boom. You see how down here it matches? Boom, boom, boom. Why I'm trying to match them perfectly is so you won't hear the background at all, you'll just hear the gameplay. So Let's test it out.
You coming up? Come on. Give us a hand.
Give me your hand.
I don't have your
He wants
knife,
to hold
all
hands.
right?
Or no, he probably just wants to help you up. Never mind.
No. Jason, that's not all right. It's just a little fucking knife that I asked you to get me, but you're too bloody incompetent, too fucking lazy to get
Oh,
it
God.
to me.
So, as you can hear, there is no background noise, which is good because if you match the background noise up perfectly with the game audio, it just stops being there because, you know, the game audio is louder and they're exactly the same. So, I mean, it's just going to be, basically it's just going to tune it out, which is awesome. So, now that we have that done, you know, if you're using like a timer like I do, you'll just look for the cues. Like right here, I'm pretty sure is an end of a part. So I'll trim that, put it in another project, export it, you know, that kind of stuff. You get used to editing this way, and eventually you make a system. I'm not going to show you my complete system, but let's bring this back. So bam. So there you go. Now you will share this project, export the media. A lot of people like to export it directly to YouTube from here, but that won't work because this file is way too big. And yeah, so I just like to export the file directly. It works fine with what you're going to do because you're actually going to end up using Handbrake again. So when you export with Final Cut Pro, like a file like this, an HD file like that, it will actually end up being like way big. It'll be like 2 gigs, 3 gigs, 4 gigs, like up in that range. The great part about Handbrake is, like I said earlier, it won't lose any video quality, but it will cut down the video size tremendously. So like I said, the file will end up being like 3 gigs, right? Let's look at this exported file of part 24 I just showed you. 30, why can't I do this? Come on. 328.9 megabytes, which is like not even close to a gig, let alone 3 gigs or 2 gigs. So that is a good file to upload to YouTube because not only will it be fast and HD, but you know, it won't be 2 gigs or 3 gigs, which won't even be able to upload at all. So, I mean, there you go. We've got the recording the raw file, we've got that down. We've got the recording your audio, we got that down, and we got the editing. So, if you like this video, you know, go ahead and hit it with a like, you know, favorite, subscribe to this channel, my CurseWrangler. This is my gaming channel. Go check out the Far Cry videos, you know, other gameplay like that you want to see. And if you want, you know, if you have any questions, just send them down in the comment box below. And if you want to see any other kind of tutorials, then you know, shoot another comment down in that box. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot.